So, Town and Country magazine has just written a piece on the royal family's Easter outing, the 2024 Easter outing of the British royal family. And I must say that it looks pretty bleak. It looks pretty bleak. Um, if this is all that is left, then there really is nothing left. And I don't say that to insult these people, but if they are all that is left to convince the British public that they should continue pumping millions of dollars a year to keep this group of people in posh luxury, all in the name of, oh, Princess Anne will do 70 outings. I think people are going to start to really question whether it's worth it to them anymore as a tax paying collective to continue to pay for this, because there's nothing here, there's nothing left. I mean, this is the best of their. Did you see this article? This is the best photos of the British royal family on Easter 2024. There's this, no offense to Anne and her husband. This is a woman in her 70s. I mean, with, you know, all due deference. I mean, you know, how much more can she do? How much for how much longer? And after her, what? Zara will suddenly become a princess? I mean, they messed up somewhere. I think they messed up somewhere, and the baton that is being passed to William is very, very weak. And there has been a lot of rumors and articles written about the fact that King Charles doesn't even think William is up to snuff to take over this family. And it almost seems like William has left his father in the lurch. You know, his father coming down with cancer, I would have expected the Prince of Wales to triple up, quadruple up his, you know, his appearances, his efforts, and it just seems like he did the very opposite. Yes, I understand that his wife has been diagnosed with cancer, but we know that cancer is not the death sentence it used to be. We know that him and his wife are having a jolly good time. We saw him and his wife at that farm shop. The sons, Newton, Madame Newton, has Victoria Newton, I believe her name is, has doubled down that these were authentic photos. The son paid £200,000 for the photos. She also has doubled down on the fact that she conferred with Kensington Palace before she ran the photos. So they okayed the photos. That would be William and Kensington Palace. So we know that these photos are authentic, that Kate is fine, even though she has cancer, right? And we don't even know that she has cancer. We know that she's getting preventative chemo, preventative chemotherapy to prevent cancer. So actually, she does not have cancer. Think about it. You're getting preventative chemotherapy to prevent cancer. So at this time, she does not have cancer. Think about it, right? So even though she's not 100%, she's not so sick that William has to be at her bedside at a 24-hour vigil. We saw them at the farm shop. We also received numerous updates from Kensington Palace before the farm shop to tell us all the things she's doing behind the scenes. She's meeting with friends. She's insisting on cooking for herself. She's taking the children to school. She's hiring staff, the actuary for Queen Elizabeth, for one. She's working on a big project. I mean, even the day before, she came out with the video that has been largely debunked on social media as being AI generated. even before she did that, we were told that she was busy doing all of those things. So a busy woman like that is not a sick woman that would cause her husband to have to drop everything and stay at her bedside 24 hours a day. So the fact that um, William seems to have just abandoned his father is very, very strange. Now that his father is, I can't seem to move my cursor here. Now that his father is, it's the most bizarre thing. Hang on a second. Hello Magazine gives you an even clearer understanding of who was not at Easter Sunday service to celebrate with the king who's riddled with cancer, and this was his first significant outing since his cancer diagnosis. So you have the Prince and Princess of Wales did not attend. Okay, that's clear, right? But then you also have here, according to Hello Magazine, that so you have the Prince and Princess of Wales did not attend, and then you have Zara and Mike Tyndall also did not attend. Where is it? I just read that. So you have Zara and Mike Tyndall also usually join the Royals for Easter, and they were a no-show. Zara was a no-show. Think about that. Think about that, right? Then you have in the past, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie have also made up the royal party, but they were also notably absent, right? And so they were absent and they would bring their respective husbands, Eduardo Mopelli Mosey and Jack Brooksbank. They were absent. Okay, so Princess Anne was there and her husband, Timothy Lawrence, and was the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh with one of their children, right? But Lady Louise, their daughter, who's 20 years old, was a no show, right? So you had Andrew and Sarah were there, but you know, only one of the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh's children, James, Earl of Wessex, was there. Their daughter, Lady Louise, who usually is there, was not there. So it just seems rather bizarre. Is this some kind of do you think that there's some kind of, I mean, do you think it's a coincidence? Or do you think that they have decided to boycott? It's almost like a boycott. It's almost like a boycott. But why would they boycott against Charles? Why would they boycott him against a cancer-stricken Charles? It's very bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. So now that his father is, stricken with cancer, all of a sudden, William seems to have disappeared. And then we start getting all these news briefs that the father does not think William is up to snuff, which is a whole other video, right? I mean, that's a whole other video or a whole other series of videos. But this video is all about the streamlined royal family. I mean, look at this. This is the king. I mean, stricken with cancer and his septuagenarian wife. I mean, you know, what's the future here? I mean, are we looking at another year, another 2, another 5 years? Will we get 10 years out of this king? I don't think we're going to get 10 years out of this king. I don't even think we're going to get 5 years out of this king. I am not God. I don't really know, but it doesn't look like we are. Although he is making an effort. He's fighting to show that he is up to it and that there's no need for him to abdicate. I don't think he wants to abdicate. I don't think he wants to abdicate, But I think that William may think he should abdicate. That's just my perception. I could be wrong. I sense that there might be a conflict between him and William wants him to abdicate. And so William is forcing his hand by not being available so that the whole thing crumbles. If you don't abdicate, abdicate and I'll take over. I'm not going to work under your wife, Camilla, as the queen. This is the sense I'm getting, right? This is the sense I'm getting, but I could be wrong. Camilla, on the other hand, you know, she's no shrinking violet, obviously, right? She runs the show, but she leads from behind, right? And I don't think she's satisfied with 1 year as queen, right? She likes being Queen Camilla, and she's not going to encourage Charles to give up the throne without a fight, you know, if at all. I mean, she wants to hold on until his death, just like the queen. The queen held on until her death in her 90s. Why should her husband have to abdicate just because he has cancer? The queen also had cancer. She didn't abdicate, right? So anyway, I digress, but we're still talking about this Easter service and how they look. Okay, so you have Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, and Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, and they have a really nice smile. It's a really nice outfit, but I mean, when you're talking about them being the face of the royal family and this being all that's left of the royal family after Charles and Camilla, the next strong couple is Sophie and Edward with Kate and William out for whatever the reason, right? It could be that Kate does have cancer, but it could also just be a pretext because Kate does not have cancer. Kate is in fact taking preventative chemotherapy to prevent the formation of cancer. So it does say that if you think about it logically, that she does not have cancer, right? She's getting preventative chemotherapy to prevent the acquisition of cancer. Think about it, you guys. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, but that seems pretty clear. So she's not, in other words, she may have some health difficulties, but it's not dire where she would have to just disappear in this way and for her husband to also disappear, especially at this time. It's very bizarre. So it does suggest something is going on behind the scenes, or many things are going on behind the scenes. But one thing is for sure that this Easter um, showing by the royal family, James, Earl of Sussex, was the only member of the younger generation of royals in attendance. He's 16 and the youngest of the late Queen Elizabeth's grandchildren. I mean, you know, it's it's not concerning in the sense that, I mean, it's not my problem. I don't care, but it is kind of interesting just from a sort of social narrative perspective. I mean, here you have Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, hasn't attended the Easter service since 1991 before her divorce from Prince Andrew, but was there today. This is desperation because if Fergie and Andrew are not there, as bad as Fergie and Andrew are, then you really just have Charles and Camilla, Anne and her husband, and Sophie and what's his face. I mean, it's a little sad. It's a little bit sad. I think they are in very, very serious trouble. And with the Fab Four absent, boy, did they screw up with Harry and Meghan. Did they screw up with Harry and Meghan? They could not have foreseen that. Oh my gosh. I mean, everything would have been different. You would have had young energy, young blood, young excitement, the little children, the cute little children from both couples. And it just, you screwed up, you guys. You screwed up with your racial animus, your sense of superiority, all the rest of it, your prejudices. You just absolutely screwed up. And you know what? You screwed yourselves. Because if you think you guys are enough to continue to dupe the British people, some of them will be duped forever. but the majority are going to eventually start to get antsy. They're going to get antsy, and that's how this whole thing unravels. And then you have all these rumors about William and whether or not he's fit, and then you just see that it's just a recipe for mm, a total implosion of the monarchy. Well, look, I'm not saying that that's going to be what happens. I'm just saying that it looks very, very bleak, right? Except for Camilla. This is a strong woman. Camilla is a strong British woman.